Hey everybody, it's Brad with the Big Family Homestead, and today we are talking about one of the most important aspects of a life of a homesteader, and well, frankly, just about everybody. So without any further ado, here we go. Now, we've all heard the stories about having to walk to school in the... There's a cow back there. We've all heard the stories about having to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow with no shoes. And all of those stories, you know, the ones like that just seem fantastical, they probably are fantastical. But today we're talking about, I think, one of the most important attitudes you can have as a homesteader or anybody who's self-reliant, a prepper, anybody in that genre, and that is the make-do mindset. And it comes from the phrase, we'll make do. Now, I did a little research and I couldn't find out much of the origins of we'll make do, but obviously the phrase means whatever situation I'm in, I'm going to figure it out, and I'm gonna figure out with what I have access to make the situation right so that I can move ahead or do what I need to do or yada yada and yippee skippy. Now, I have had the privilege of going to Haiti as a missionary, and this is one of the best illustrations I can think of to show you about making do. So I brought this from the inside of the house to the outside of the house to show you this piece of art. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but on this piece of art are all these tiny little dots. Take note of that because it's going to come into play here in a second. 3 levels high, and this is an amazing piece of artwork that you would probably pay $150 for at a Hobby Lobby-ish kind of store. And the way that the Haitians make this is pretty awesome. They have a lot of different shipping companies and import companies that bring different materials in, and they have steel barrels, the 55-gallon steel barrels, and they're all over the place, and because they're junked. And what these guys do is they'll go get those steel barrels and they will actually cut them apart and pound them with just crude tools, like incredibly crazy crude tools, and they'll pound them and beat them and stomp on them till they're super flat, and then they'll cut them into these shapes, and they will get everything put together and then put all these little divots in with little nails. And you know, it takes them a long time to get something like this done, but then they'll take it to the market and they will sell it to a tourist or missionary like me, and that is how they make do. They feed their families, they provide for the community, and it's a service that, oops, sorry, got bugs going everywhere. It's a service that everybody appreciates because the tourists and missionaries want it, they need it for their families, and it's helping clean up the island. So that is making do. Now, why am I bringing this up today? You say, Brad, well, what's that got to do with me? Well, we live in a throwaway society, right? Everything is a one use, you throw it away. I've even seen phones like that. To me, that's insane that you have phones that are one use or a small amount of use and then you just throw it away. I think I gotta pause this. I'm gonna come back. Mosquitoes are getting nasty. Be right back. Sorry about that. I had just become an unwilling blood donor to about 20 mosquitoes and I was having a hard time focusing. So let's go back. We're in Haiti. These guys are providing a service. They're making this beautiful artwork and they're providing for their families. Now, hashtag forward, and we're talking about the mindset of a homesteader, prepper, self-reliant person, anybody who's trying to make the most with the least. So the idea is that even though I don't have a lot of money to go buy a specific widget, gidget, or gadget, I sure as heck am gonna figure out how to make my job get done even though I don't have that. Farmers who will use a chunk of, an old tire to shoe a horse, stuff like that. Thinking of ways that are outside of the box that you don't have to rush to a store to get the job done. We will make do. It stretches even further than that, because I remember when I was a kid, my mom told me a story that even though on Thanksgiving they had pretty much nothing. My dad was a musician and he was struggling and all that kind of stuff. And she told me a story that they had a couple chicken wings that they would share, and that was their turkey feast. We will make do with what we have. And I think it's so important that if you're in the homesteading, prepping, self-reliant mindset, you don't have the thought process that when something goes crazy or you need to get something or something's broken, that I'll just quickly rush out to a store and get it. Because I think that that's just a way that you're gonna end up not getting a lot done, number one. Number two, it's pretty dang wasteful. And number three, just that you've got to have the mindset that what I have, I'm going to get the job done, the get her done mentality. That is the make do mentality. And so for you out there, what is your make do story? Put it in the comments down below, because I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about your making do story. And actually on Sunday nights, we do the live stream once in a while. And from time to time, we'll do a game that I call, obviously it's a funny name, but what in the heck could I possibly do with this item that's not its original and intended purpose? And so we bring something out, like a piece of artwork or whatever. And you guess at the number of things you could do with that item. And you know, when you're going back to the Haitian people, they took trash, literal garbage, those 55 steel gallon drums, and they make something in it and out of it that provides for their family. That to me is pretty awesome. And I think we as Americans have believed the lie of being a throwaway society. And I don't think that's a good way to be. I think we need to be a lot more proactive in making sure that we do renew and recycle and reduce and all that kind of stuff. Just because, doggone it, it's pretty wasteful. Our planet's not getting any cleaner. And it's not really helping anybody get their job done faster. When you're stuck, you got to figure it out. Now, for a make-do story, here's mine. Now, ironically, this is not a homestead-based story, but I think it's kind of funny and a way to share with you guys anyhow. And that is this. In my days touring in a band, a lot of times, you know, it's really hard to get your baggage from one place and your gear to another, and sometimes things get kind of lost in the shuffle, and then this person has that one and that one person has that one, and you're just trying to get by. Well, my pants that I was wearing, my pants for the show that night, had gotten torn way down from the actual down by the ankle all the way up to the top of my knee, and it looked goofy, and I didn't want to go on stage like that. So I kind of got creative, and I went over to the sound guy and I said, hey, can I use some of that gaffer's tape that you have? And he said, sure, what are you gonna do with it? I said, well, I'll show you in a second. So what I did was I took strips of the tape and I put them on the outside and I put them on the inside and made kind of a big long fanned out triangle, kind of like the bell-bottom pants that Elvis used to wear, and I taped my pants up. And it looked, to me, kind of cool, but to other people it looked kind of weird in the beginning. But sure enough, every once in a while we'd see kids starting to do that. They'd put the duct tape on their pants in different angles. And my necessity was I didn't want to look goofy with my, mosquitoes are in here, with my leg all flopping out from that. And so I just taped it together, and you never know what's gonna happen. Somebody picked up on that, and who knows, maybe it was a thing, I don't know. For me, it was just logic. And I mean, oh my gosh, there's 1,000,001 uses for duct tape anyway. But that's not the point. The point is making do. What's your make do story? Put it down below. If it's a really good one, you know I'm gonna share it on Sunday Night Live. So anyway, that's the video for the day. I'm Brad with the Big Family Homestead, and you have an amazing day.